Me again, Steve here again, with my two books, JASHER INSIGHTS. Now to talk more about the front cover of my book and what is actually in it. The beautiful damsel there in distress there, that is one of the daughters of the patriarch Jacob. And unfortunately she had a very hard experience. She was captured by enemies and they abused her, and she was rescued by two of her brothers who totally devastated a whole town because of a prince who had abused her, and so the whole city got devastated. And that was actually the start of the fulfillment of Abraham's promise that Israel would drive out all her enemies out of the land of the Canaanites. And that's what provoked it, wars between sons of Jacob and the Canaanites. It all started with this very scene here, which is covered in JASHER INSIGHTS for about 5-6 chapters in my book. But there's all kind of wars going on and fighting like you've never seen before. The description of the sons of Jacob is almost reads like something from modern times, like X-Men with supernatural powers. These guys could do things that are just absolutely amazing. And that's why you need to read my books to see how it really was. Not some Sunday school version of the Bible, but how it really was. The drama, the violence, how people lived back then. Why in the old days, if you didn't protect yourself with a sword, you'd be dead meat. The same for the women. You had to protect your women or be dragged off if you're beautiful by some conquering king, like happened to Sarah of Abraham, and happened almost to Rebecca of Isaac as well. Similar things. So back then they had to defend themselves. That's why they're all armed. And it is a very violent story. That particular story, that's about Shechem. That's the story of Shechem. And Shechem is one of the main cities in Israel that has all the history. That if you read anything about Israel, if you read anything from many of the chapters of the Bible, you come across this town of Shechem in the center of Israel. And it also Shechem became the capital city of the northern kingdom of Israel. So it has a lot of history. The actual location where this big fight's going on, where actually the city's being destroyed because that they abused the only daughter of Jacob. His sons took revenge on the city. And that's just one scene from the book. In the background you can see there's this monster here. There's a hybrid monster, because in the book it actually talks about hybrids. The hybrids that started because of the fallen angels coming down to earth before the flood and mating with the human women, and as a result later in time they also did similar things with animals, put their DNA into animals and made hybrid animals. I talk a lot about that in my books, in ENOCH INSIGHTS, in JASHER INSIGHTS, and my next book, which is coming out soon, JUBILEES INSIGHTS. You've got to read that one, because that's another incredible ancient Jewish book that has details you won't find in the Bible. Amazing stuff. But they all talk about these hybrids. And in this book of Jasher, there's two instances where they have to fight these hybrids. Half human, half animals, that are dangerous. So that is why you've got a monster in the background there, done by the artist there. I like it very much. And here you have one of the archers here. It's one of her brothers. In fact, unbelievably, I should say, only two of her brothers, Simeon and Levi, took out a whole city. Just two of them. Didn't even need all the brothers. Just two of them was enough to take out a whole city, wipe them out. That's the kind of powers they had back then. But you've got to read my books to find out why. Why was it so violent back then? There's a reason. Some people blame God and say, oh, well, they were so violent back then and cruel. But you need to read the stories, how it really was, to find out why. If you didn't defend your family back then, you would be mincemeat. So you had no choice. You either stood up with a sword and fought, or you'd be obliterated. And I bring that on my book. You have JASHER INSIGHTS to show why it was that Jacob's sons had to be violent. Nice. That's all for now.